Yay!
Welcome, everyone, to a very different looking Cryptic Paranormal Show. Goose is
Hello.
not here tonight. Heisenberg has been replaced with his better half, Boss Lady Kate.
Hello. Hello.
And we have the one and only Tim.
I don't know if it's one and only. I think there's a lot of schlups like me walking around somewhere. Thanks for having me back, though. This is a new laptop, so if my audio isn't doing well, just let me know and I'll throw on some headphones.
Okay.
Sounds perfect to me.
Yeah.
All right.
We already have people jumping in the chat.
Wonderful.
Everybody's excited to hear the Murray story. And FYI, you will be telling it at least 5 times throughout the broadcast because I don't care what you say. I can hear it a million times and never get sick of it.
Well, I'm glad there's people out there like you. I'll be honest with you. I tell the story so much that if I didn't love him so much, I would probably get sick of it. So that's how much I tell the story. But I'm not complaining. He's as you'll find out, he's a pretty special boy, and till the day I'm not here anymore, that's how long I'll tell this story. So
yes, and
that's awesome.
And I would like to file a formal complaint that you give Murray all the credit. You are also a superhero, and if nothing else, you are the Robin to his Batman. Can we disagree on that?
Yeah.
I never really liked Robin though, so I don't think I'd look good in the tights, any of that stuff. But yeah, we can agree to disagree on that one.
Okay.
He'll always get all the credit from me. Honestly, the truth is, like, when you start giving yourself credit and start giving yourself accolades, that's when people start getting sick of you. So, other people want to say nice things about me. That's fine. Still makes me uncomfortable. But you'll
That's
never
fair.
get me on a show telling everybody how wonderful I am.
Well, we think you're wonderful.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Boom, 2 against 1.
I just got my smell back tonight, and the first thing that I was excited about was farts. So that's how wonderful I am.
Oh my gosh.
Well, how long has it been?
A month and a half almost. And
yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah. So yeah, Tim is wonderful, and then he starts out with talking about farts.
I think that's a record, Tim. It was like 2 minutes into the show, and we've already derailed, and we're talking about farts.
It was a highlight of my day. I'll be honest with you. Last night I could smell the food I was making, which took my brain a little while to process.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those that are wondering, what's he talking about? I had COVID at the end of October into November, and I haven't been able to smell or taste anything. And last night I was making dinner, and I smelled the chicken I was making, and my brain is like, oh, that really smells good. And then I'm like, wait a minute, what? Then I ran into the kitchen to put my head in the oven because I wanted to smell it more. But yeah, it's exciting. You don't know how much that stuff means to you until it's gone.
What about the taste? Did you lose the taste too, or?
Yeah. Everything tasted like cardboard for a good 5 weeks. It was
that's back though.
Yeah, it was awful. It comes and goes now. It's like a hit and a miss thing, but hopefully it comes back all the way. But anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about Murray.
Let's Okay, fine. Let's tell the story about Murray.
How far back do you want me to go? Do you want me to go to the beginning, or?
Yes. Tell us how you met.
Well, how I met Murray was 2006. I was looking for a home. The one I'm actually in right now is the one that we chose. And I'll save you the sob story on why I'm here by myself. But I ended up moving into this house by myself, and it wasn't a real good time in my life. I was going through a lot of things personally, and really trying to. I guess in 2006, as a guy, you really couldn't walk around and tell people you were depressed. It was difficult, and you still get some weird looks nowadays. But in 2006, for sure, you just didn't share that kind of stuff a whole lot, and I was going through a lot of stuff here, a lot of personal issues and relationship issues and what have you, And I knew I'd always wanted a dog, and this was my first home where I can actually do that. And I started looking around online, and this is 2006, and I went to petfinder.com, and I think they still exist, but went to petfinder.com, and I put in yellow lab because I wanted a yellow lab, and I got this list of local yellow labs, and one of them was a lab pit bull mix, and the story was that he had been abused horribly in the home he was in, and he was about 6 months old, and the shelter had actually gone in and taken him from the home. When I contacted them, they didn't want to let me come and see him because it was a man that did all of this to him, and legend had it he didn't like men. And I tried to convince them that I was no normal man, and I think there's a lot of people out there that would agree with that. Eventually, they let me come and visit him, and I remember it like it was yesterday. It was a Saturday morning. I got there pretty early, and they went down this long hallway of kennels. They had me sit in a different room, and they were going to let him out and see if he would come to me. And they let him out, and he went the wrong way. He went to the opposite end of the hallway, which if you ever got to meet Murray, I mean, that was him. He never really did anything right the first time. But they turned him around, and this little puppy that wasn't supposed to want anything to do with me broke into a full sprint and jumped into my arms and started licking my face. And they let me go outside and play with him for a while. And I think I was out there for like an hour, and just having the time of my life with him. And we hit it off from the beginning. And obviously I couldn't take him home that day because they got to do the things that shelters do and make sure you're not a horrible person.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember leaving that day, and he was still outside, and he had his paws up against the chain link fence, and he was just looking at me like, "Why are you leaving me?" And it broke my heart. I cried for the 40 minutes home. And I finally got a call from them. It's a shame because I really don't have a great relationship with that shelter anymore. I would love to have a good relationship with them.
Yeah.
But the lady that runs it is just this grumpy, mean, I'm going to yell at everybody person, and I really want nothing to do with her. But it took them quite a while, 2 weeks to get back to me. And when they finally got back to me, they said, "Yeah, you can come and pick him up." I went to pick him up, and in the meantime, in my home, I was experiencing a lot of things, paranormal and spirit-wise and ghost-wise, and that's kind of why I'm not just the dog guy. I've also been investigating the paranormal for 14 years. So, but when I brought him home that day, he walked in and immediately was following around all the things that I was hearing.
Oh, wow.
And so he immediately made me feel sane. There was another living being that was noticing everything that was happening. And like I said, we hit it off from the beginning. There were some growing pains. I mean, the first time I had to work a night shift, I got home and I was playing with him on the floor, and he peed on me.
No.
like straddled me and just peed on me.
Sorry.
But he had such a personality, and he just wanted to be loved so badly. And we were able to give that to each other. The depression still was bothering me, and we were about, I want to say, like 2 months into him being here, and I had a horrible night, and I sat in the bathroom with the largest knife I had in the house, and I went through each family member and each friend, and I gave myself an excuse as to why it would be okay if I wasn't here. And when I got to that point where it was going to happen, I felt something on my left arm, and I looked down, and Murray had rested his head on my arm. And I looked down at him, and I completely broke down. I put the knife down, I crumpled to the floor, and I hugged him and just held him. And from that moment forward, we were father and son. There was no owner and dog. There was no, I never called him a dog again. He was always my boy. He was always my son. And there's a lot of people out there like, dogs aren't babies. They aren't your children. And to those people, I hope that at some point in your life, you love something enough that you can just say something and just not care what other people think.
Right.
He was my boy, and nobody can convince me otherwise. We became this inseparable bond, and I lived every day to thank him. You know, I've often said, you know, how do you thank somebody that saves your life? You know, it's a constant process, and I tried to make, you know, what ended up being the next 13 years of his life. I tried to make every day magical, and I'd like to think we kind of did that together. And the paranormal stuff started to take off, and I was on Paranormal Witness in 2013, and really started to get a lot of opportunities to go around the country and speak at these conventions, and they're you know, they give you this big table and they want you to sell what you can. At the time I didn't have anything, so I came up with it was on night shift, and I came up with this idea, and I every year when this post comes up on Facebook Memories, I share it. April 18th, 2013, I was just like, you know what if I can do something good with this spot, and we're going to do something where we raise money for shelters, and we're going to create a legacy for Murray. And that was never about me. You know, we joked around in the beginning, you know, about Batman and Robin, but it's always been Batman. Murray will always be Batman. And I gladly will play second fiddle to him the rest of my life. He was amazing, and he deserves all the credit. And when he was here, I got to take him to a few events, and you cannot convince me that he didn't know he was a star, because he was a giant ham. Not because of all the cheeseburgers that we ate. He was a little chunky guy, but he knew the people that were there for him, and he played it up. He loved the attention. He loved people, and for a dog that everybody was afraid wouldn't like anybody after what had happened to him,
right?
He absolutely loved everybody. Oh. And he was the most fantastic ambassador that Autographs for Pooches ever could have had. And you know, we had a great 13 years together, and unfortunately in October of 2019 he passed away, and it was very sudden. I mean, he was getting old, and he was having trouble getting around. I used to he would have trouble climbing the 3 stairs to get inside the house, and I would give him a pep talk every time, and I would be behind him, and I'd say, "Don't you dare give up on me." And he would get up those stairs, and he would turn around, and he'd be so proud of himself. Wow. And then when it came time to go upstairs to go to bed, I'd carry him.
Yeah.
Because I owed him that. And I'd give anything to carry him one more time. But I remember when he had the stroke, and then he had the seizure, and I took him to the hospital. One of the things that I told him, I whispered into his ear, I said, "You never gave up on me." And he never did. He fought. And, you know, even though he was sore and he was old and he was exhausted, he never gave up on me. And I'll never, ever be able to repay him for that. As he got older, I had a hard time with his mortality and realizing what would happen to me after he was gone. And I mean, I'm still I'd be lying to you if I told you 2+ years later I've got it all figured out. There's still days where, I mean, I talk to him all the time,
right?
Like he's sitting with me. And you know, 2 months ago I lost Molly, my little girl, and one of the first messages I got from a medium was, "Murray wants you to know that he's got his girl."
Aww.
And I had a really hard time crying after that. Oh, sorry about that. I had a really hard time crying over Molly after that, because I knew she was in a place where it was beautiful and she had her boy.
Right.
And I didn't have to worry about her. And that brought me so much peace. When Murray passed, he and I had a deal. And I told him, I said, "You got to let me know that you're okay. Otherwise, I'm coming to find you." And that sounds just like it sounds. I woke up the next morning to 4 messages from 4 very good friends in the paranormal field that are mediums. And every message started with, "It's very important that you tell my dad I'm okay." And
Stop.
and
All right, Tim, we gotta go.
he held up his end of the bargain.
Right.
So it's my turn to do my part. So if people out there are wondering, why is Potographs per Pooches so important? If you don't understand after that, then I don't think you ever will. But
right.
Potographs for Pooches, started off as an idea of, hey, we're gonna donate the money we raise from these pictures. We're gonna sell them for $10, and whatever money we raise is going to go to a local shelter. And the first event we did, I made $10 for one picture. And the lady that owns that picture, I hope she still has it because I want to buy it back from her. But yeah, I never imagined we'd be here, almost, what are we here? Almost 9 years later, 8.5 years.
Yeah.
And this year we just surpassed $72,000.
That's amazing.
And I am humble enough to know that that's not me. Nobody's buying a picture of me for $10. Nobody's buying a sweatshirt with my name on it. Nobody's buying a t-shirt with my name on it. That's all Murray, and that's all how far his reach has gotten. And we've been able to do that. And I tell you, it's I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for the fact that the paranormal community put their arms around it. There's some very, very wonderful people in this field, and
absolutely,
I'm going to name just a few.
Do it.
Dustin Perry has been unbelievably kind to Potographs for Pooches, and he and I have become fantastic friends. People like Tim Rian, Tim Woolworth, John Cassidy, Deb DeRoos. I knew if I started naming people, I would forget them.
Right.
Michelle Nason, who is on my Fox Cities Paranormal team, she makes baskets for our big event in March.
Oh, nice.
And over last year, she raised, I think, $1,600 just on baskets.
Wow.
Which was phenomenal. And that one event, we raised $13,223.
Wow.
And the fake check is actually right behind me here.
Nice.
that we handed to the shelter that day. But yeah, I mean, it's a labor of love. It takes up a lot of time, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So there's your 20-minute answer.
Yeah. I love it so much. And I am such a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. And obviously, beyond you and Murray obviously needed each other. I'm talking way past that though.
Yeah.
Because that $72,000 that you guys raise is helping other people find their Murray. It's helping the shelters to connect other people to their Murray. And who knows what those people are going to go on to do. I just love the whole situation. I love the outcome. Everything is just incredible. It's my favorite. That's why I could listen to it a million times and never get sick of it.
I honestly, I was pretty naive when I started telling my story. I started telling my story in the fall of 2012. So before Potographs for Pooches was even a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And not really knowing how people would react. A part of that story that I didn't tell in the beginning is when I was 8 years old, my dad was hit by a construction vehicle and was in a coma for 6.5 years and would pass away from those injuries. And now that I'm in the paranormal field, and now when I moved into the house and had everything happening in the home, that first spirit that I dealt with was him.
Oh.
And so it all does come full circle.
Right.
The paranormal field has given me far more than I will ever be able to give it. I try to be somebody that people can look at and go, hey, that's one of the good people in the paranormal. And that's important to me because the field has given me so much that I would feel like a bag of asses if I shit all over the field. Um,
Well, it's important too because honestly, so many people do. You know, I open my Facebook and every single freaking day it's paradrama. You know, there's always people just talking shit, and I think it's so important to put a spotlight on the fact that like, hey, if you're looking in the right place, there are phenomenal people in this field.
there
Absolutely
is,
phenomenal people.
honestly, I've been asked so many times, how did you get where you're at in the field? And I'm a smart ass. So the first thing I say is, well, I don't know, where am I at? That's the first thing for me is I've been on like 3 minutes of paranormal television. So I'm not somebody that you're going to see on paranormal TV very long. And if paranormal television came to me and said, "Hey Tim, we would like to showcase you every week, and we're going to give you a platform to talk about photographs or pooches and all these wonderful things," I would be a fool to pass it up.
Yeah.
But that said, if paranormal TV never comes along again, I'm cool.
Yeah.
We're fine.
Yeah.
But just getting that opportunity, and the thing I always tell people is just, do the work.
Right.
If you do the work and you're not expecting anything in return,
Mm-hmm.
people will notice the work that you're putting into it. And those will be the right people.
Right.
And you'll get opportunities. And I'm still a guy that ends up at like 8 or 10 events a year, partly because of Murray's story and partly because of the work that we've put into the paranormal field, because I can sit and talk the paranormal with you, and I can not sound stupid about it. And, but people just prefer to talk about Murray, and I get it. I love talking about Murray, and I do it at work. Somebody will come up to me at work and they'll be like, "Hey, that dog you used to have." And by the way, that irritates me because still got him. He's still there. But they'll come up and they'll want to hear a story. They'll want me to talk about it and tell them, and I'll do that every single day. And it always puts me back into a place where I understand perspective. I can be having the worst day in the world and somebody asks me a question about Murray, and everything that has happened doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. Everything else melts away.
Yeah.
And even if I'm having a rotten day, there's instantly a smile on my face. And it took a long time for me to be able to smile after he passed. Man, I can't even tell you how long. There were some really dark days, but eventually I was able to talk about him and think about him and smile. And I still cry, when I think about him.
Right.
But it's a combination of sad and happy, because I'm sad that it's over, but I think it's Dr. Seuss that said it. I'm quoting something that I don't know, but don't be sad that it's over. Be happy that you had the journey.
Yeah, exactly.
Something along those. I'm definitely paraphrasing. I'm not a Dr. Seuss guy, but it's true though. I mean, that 13-year journey, quite possibly could be the best 13 years of my life, and I have no problem with that whatsoever if I don't ever experience anything better than that. So
here's the other reason why I love your story so much. I am a mom of 3 boys, and I am a firm believer in being open and honest about mental health. I think that it's appalling that boys and men feel that they have to man up and hide their emotions and pretend like they don't have them. And I think that society just does a disservice to men, honestly. So to me, what you do every time you tell your story is to let people know that they're not alone and that it's 100% okay. It's okay to have those feelings, but at the end of the day, it's not okay to leave this world because of those feelings, because there is so much more out there. You just have to do the work. You have to make an effort to be happy and to focus on the positive things, and you can do it. Anybody can do it. I'm sure when you were sitting there on your bathroom floor, you never thought that you could have done this.
I never knew that my words would have so much meaning to people. Quite honestly. Yeah, when I was sitting on the floor, I wasn't thinking about anybody else.
Right.
I will say this though, Denise, you posted something a few months ago that really touched me, and you were having one of those days, and you were open about it, and so don't sell yourself short. You're one of those people that people look up to too.
Thank you.
I will say this: I did a radio show for about 10 years, and I think the last 6 years of that radio show, I would end the show every week with "It's okay not to be okay."
Yeah.
And
It is.
the terrifying part for me, and if I'm being completely honest, the terrifying part for me, that whole situation, is that I'm afraid that I'm going to meet somebody that I can't help.
Yeah.
And I don't know how my own mental health is going to be able to handle that.
Yeah.
I've gotten to meet some incredible people, and nobody's situation is the same. And that's what makes mental health so confusing and so frustrating for so many people.
Right.
It's not as simple as smile.
Right.
It's not as simple as, oh, tomorrow will be better.
Yeah.
For me, it was the love of a dog, and it was me putting everything I had into Murray and knowing that this is what's keeping me happy and keeping me around.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you don't have the right words for people.
Yeah.
If I'm being completely honest here on the show, and my mom is listening, so I'm really sorry, Mom. I had a day yesterday where I wasn't good. I had a combination of just a really crappy day and a day at work that was so incredibly stressful that it was actually causing me physical pain. It's been such a stressful day or week at work that I've gotten physically sick the last 3 days.
Wow.
Because I want to do well. And I think people can relate to that. But for my body, my brain, even though I'm in a good place now,
Mm-hmm.
my brain still, sometimes I wake up and my brain will tell me, Tim, nobody loves you.
Yes. Yes.
Tim, you suck at life.
Yep.
And I can recognize those days now. And it's my job to fight through those days.
Mm-hmm.
And just make it to the next one. I had a day yesterday that was so bad that I went to grocery shopping after work, after about a 10.5-hour day. And I got to the grocery store and my brain was pulsating to the point where I could feel my heartbeat in the back of my head.
Jeez.
And I just looked in the mirror and I said, Murray, I need your help. I was like, I got to be able to let this go. Otherwise, I'm going to have a stroke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I sat there for 15 minutes until I just decompressed and calmed down. And I went into work, or I went into the grocery store, came home, and I spent time with Ray and Bo, and everything was okay. And then I really fought it all day today at work that I need to not let this bother me so much.
Yeah.
Because my brain is programmed to just continually throughout the day tell me that I suck.
Yeah.
And I wish I didn't have that.
Right.
I don't wish that
and it's something that people don't understand. I'm always trying to, and I do it too. And Shelly will be, I see Shelly's on now. Shelly will be the first to tell you. I go through it too. And I'll completely shut down and I won't talk to anybody. And I'll know that I need to reach out to somebody, but then my brain's like, nobody cares. Yeah. Why are you going to call somebody? Nobody cares, and it's something that unless you suffer with stress and anxiety and depression, like you don't understand that. People will be like, why don't you just call somebody? Why don't you just feel better? Like there is nothing wrong in my life. I have an amazing life and I understand that. Sometimes my brain doesn't understand that.
Right.
And it's not me having a bad attitude. It's not, you know what I mean? It's just sometimes our brains are fucking stupid.
Yeah. And it's going to sound like I'm bragging, and please don't take it that way. I've run a very successful paranormal team for 14 years. Autographs for Pooches is doing so well. I have great friends. I have great family. I have a fantastic job. I have nothing to be upset about.
Yeah.
But every day I find something.
Mm-hmm.
And every day I look in the mirror and I'm like, why? Why is this happening?
Right.
And I'll go on stretches where I'm fine. And there used to be, I used to live in this fog. Like every day was a fog. And thankfully I'm out of that, where it's not every day.
Mm-hmm.
But the crappy days are still crappy.
Right.
And there's somebody out there that's dealing with those crappy days at a whole nother level every single day of the year.
Yep.
Every single day. And they're being told by somebody that they look up to and they respect and they love that they should just feel better.
Right. Right. What do you have to be sad about?
Yeah, it's not that easy. It really isn't. And it sounds like a broken record when I talk about this stuff, but unless you've lived it and unless
Mm-hmm.
you understand it, you never will.
Right.
And I don't wish it on people.
Right.
I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. I just caught Aaron's comment here. Love you too, Aaron, and I'm really sorry about your kitty. When Molly passed in September, I was lucky enough to have a vet come into the home, and I got to hold her the entire time.
Yeah, that's what we did with Bella.
And that girl was my little sweetheart for 3 years.
Yeah.
And I brought her home from a Autographs event. She was an ambassador of one of the shelters, and they told me at the end of the event, they're like, "Do you want to take Molly home with you?" And I was like, "Damn right, I do."
Right. Do I?
And she was 10 years old. They found her in the forest. She had heartworm.
Oh.
And we battled through that. And she had 3 fantastic years, and she was the most lovable dog in the world. But she wouldn't give kisses. She wouldn't lick.
Right.
And the last time I picked her up after an event, my mom is a sweetheart, and she watches my dogs for me when I go to events.
You mean her grandkids?
Yes.
Right.
And, her grandpuppies. And, I picked Molly and Ray up the last event that I did while Molly was alive, and I sat down on the floor with them, and Molly came over and licked my face for about 2 minutes.
Oh.
And by then I already knew that the time was coming.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like her saying, "I know you'll dig this, so here you go."
Oh.
Right.
And yeah, I was just like, holy shit, what's happening?
Right.
But every time she rode in the car, she had to be in the front seat. She always called shotgun. And she was just a sweetheart. She really was. And I was so lucky. She was best friend for Murray for a year. And she really kept me together after Murray was gone. And yeah, just the love of animals. And now I got Ray, and I'll tell you, now that Ray and I are just Ray and I, that bond that Murray and I had, Ray and I are getting there. And I see it when like we're outside and there's something else that she doesn't recognize, and instantly she's in protection mode. Like, this is not going to get to my dad. Even if it's a stupid leaf. She wants to let everybody know that, hey, wait, that's my dad. You don't touch him.
Yeah.
And then I got to have the same talk with her that I used to have with Murray, because Murray would bark at the squirrels like he was going to kick their butts because they were too close to dad. And I would tell Murray, I'd be like, you know what, buddy, if something gets by me, we're screwed anyway. It's my job to protect you. If at 6'4", 260 pounds, I can't protect you from something, and we're going to rely on you, we're in trouble. But he was, Murray and Molly, just absolutely wonderful. And now, Denise, you're going to be with us in March.
I am.
Yeah, our biggest event, Autographs Fair S3 in Houghton Lake on March 5th. And
yes, here, let me put that up.
And look at all those wonderful people on that poster.
So many. Oh my God, I'm seriously so excited for this event.
It's going to be wonderful. Brian Cano's going to be there, Paul Bradford.
Oh.
And I hung out with Brad Blair and Tim Ellis a few weeks ago in Dundee, Michigan. My buddy Todd Arnold's going to be there, John Cassidy, Tim Woolworth. Anytime you could sit down and listen to Carl and Keith Johnson with James Anito do a demonology seminar,
Right?
you're doing well. And they're going to be in Michigan to give that. And then Deb and RJ, Braxton in April. There's Michelle, who I mentioned earlier, does all of the baskets for the events, and she does a wonderful job. And Brian Danhausen's going to be doing some readings. He does art readings where he will draw a painting and then interpret the painting for you.
Oh my gosh, that's
Cool.
awesome.
And then there's
That's
a
awesome.
fantastic show that's going to be doing live cut-ins all weekend and helping us
What?
raise money.
And we will also be donating a basket, so you can let Michelle know.
Sweet.
So, I wanted to, since you were talking about Ray, I wanted to talk about this.
Oh.
Who is she holding hands with there, Tim?
Well, I'm going to make my mom cry.
Oh no.
That's my Ray. And earlier this week, my grandmother passed away.
Oh,
And
That's lucky.
I was getting ready for work, and I always sit in the same spot when I get ready for work, and I'm putting my shoes on. And usually Ray will sit next to me in the recliner, but she walked to the other end of the couch, and she just sat there and stared at the spot on the couch, and then slowly put her arm up, like, hold my hand. And I'll tell you, it was either my dad or it was my grandma Carolyn. And
yeah.
either way, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
But she was so sure that somebody was there, and she wanted so badly for them to hold her hand. And I just happened to have my phone right there, and was
That's
like, "Oh, I got to
awesome.
snap a photo of that."
Yeah.
So yeah, it was an incredible moment, and Ray is a story in her own. Back when Murray was still alive, I from time to time have visions where I will see things, mostly on investigations, sometimes just at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this one where I was sitting on the couch and I was showing a puppy on the laptop pictures of Murray and telling this puppy about his brother. And it dawned on me that in this vision, Murray's not here anymore. And I thought it was my dad's way of saying, hey, everything's going to be okay. So the whole idea for me when Murray passed was I was going to get a puppy. I was going to name him Ray, R-A-Y, as in Ray, the last three letters of Murray.
Right.
And that was my way to kind of, have a piece of him yet. When Murray passed, one of the shelters I worked with in Wisconsin got a hold of me, and they said, "Hey, we got pit lab puppies coming up from Alabama. Here's the pictures. Pick one." And it was the universe telling me it's time. And when that happened, one of my good friends got a hold of me, and she said, "I have a message for you from Murray. He really does want you to get a puppy. But you need to understand that he's the only boy.
Oh.
So you have to get a girl." So that's why Ray is a girl, and that's why her name is spelled R-A-E. So the plan was changed a little bit, but when the prince tells you, "Hey, this is what's up," you're looking
Right.
He's so
So now I
demanding.
have
I
Ray.
love it.
Now I have Ray, and she's actually got the same markings as Murray did when he was a puppy. That's
Oh
why
my
I chose
gosh.
her. And she's a wonderful little dog. And she's like 80 pounds of lap dog, and doesn't realize she's so big. But I wouldn't change a thing. She's adorable, and
Oh.
she's got a whole lot of love in her if you get her to sit down.
How old is she now?
She just turned 2 in October.
Oh.
So yeah, Murray passed on October 14th, and Ray was born on October 26th.
Oh my goodness.
So
Stuff like that just doesn't just happen. It does not just happen.
That's what I'm saying.
I-
That's why I love it so much.
That's amazing.
There's Goose chiming in.
hey, Goose.
Goose also had a concert tonight for his kids. It was a busy concert night for us.
Oh,
I love you, buddy. I can't wait to see you in Michigan. We're gonna
Oh
have
my
a
gosh,
great
I'm so
time.
excited. Oh, and I also got this one.
This one's very special to me because we are going to be celebrating Murray's birthday. Murray's birthday would have been April 25th. Would have been his 16th birthday. So we're going to do some celebrating at Ashmore Estates. First and foremost, I have to say thank you to Robin Terry, who is giving us Ashmore Estates for free for Friday
Nice.
and Saturday,
Awesome.
so that we can raise money for Coles County Animal Shelter. I can't read that, but I think I got that. And again, I mentioned Dustin Perry earlier on, and he's going to be there at that event. And then some other fantastic friends, Scotty and Keith. Keith's making his first appearance at a Potographs event. My good buddy Gary Fisher is going to be retiring from the Air Force in March.
Nice.
Then a month later, he's going to be emceeing our event. And then some fantastic friends, Dana Stricker and Becky Castillo. So looking forward to this event. Tickets are becoming scarce for this one.
I bet.
So if you're interested in investigating Ashmore Estates with us, get those tickets. If you buy tickets before the end of the year, you're put into a drawing, and whoever wins the drawing gets to investigate Friday night with the speakers.
Nice.
That's
you,
cool.
your friends, and the speakers the entire night. So
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
it is worth getting your tickets early. And if I remember right, I think we got 15 left. So 15 investigation tickets left for that event. Get those while you can.
Awesome. Are you guys doing baskets and stuff at that one too, or no?
I am not entirely sure. I have to talk to Robin to see what kind of layout we have and how much room we have for a vendor area. I would love to be able to do that, but I can't promise it right now.
That's very cool. I've actually never been to Ashmore Estates.
Love you too, Greg.
Goose, go to your kid stuff. And if that's over, then why are you not on the show?
Yeah, you could just watch it.
Right. Rude.
I can't wait for kid concerts. I'm not to like change. So I cannot wait for all of that. Like that's gonna be. It is something that I like truly look forward to.
I'm not gonna lie. I literally cry at every single one of them.
I laugh when children get hurt.
Yeah, so does my husband.
Because it's funny.
Yeah.
I shared a video today that was on TikTok of a kid riding his scooter down a hill, and this bird is like chasing him the whole way, and he's screaming bloody murder, and his dad is filming it and laughing.
Right.
Yep.
And that is the kind of father I would be.
Yeah.
I can't tell you.
Balance.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm a nice balance between, like, I'll definitely laugh if my kids trip,
Oh yeah.
They're okay, obviously. But I also cry like a baby at all of those school events. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm sure I'm going to. Yeah. I really, really, really want to push Lincoln down in the snow this year. That's that's my ultimate goal, is to like get him one of those like big, snowsuits or whatever, and then just shove him right down.
Yeah. I love those videos.
Yes.
Where they just fall like this
into
the snow, and then there's
I just want him to
outline of a child.
I just want him to be like running too, like really excited, and I just kind of want to like toss him right over. I don't know why. That's such a weird thing to want to do, but I think it would be I think he would look so cute falling in the snow.
Right? I like the little outlines of kids when they fall in the snow. It's cute. It's not mean. It's cute.
It's cute, right?
Yeah.
It's not child abuse if it's cute. I mean, no.
If I get a lot of views on TikTok, it's not
and
child
it was worth it. Jeez. Oh God! Please don't call phone services on me.
There's a video on YouTube of stuff as Flash.
Yeah,
and he can't be more than like 6 years old, and his mom is recording it, and he turns around and she's like, who are you? And he goes, my name is Flash. And she goes, holy shit, what are you going to do? That means I'm really fast. And he turns around to run and he like face plants on somebody and starts crying instantly. And I send that video to like 10 of my friends about 5 times a year. It's the greatest video I've ever seen in my life.
That's hilarious. I have to look that up.
Has it been around a while? It's pre-TikTok?
Yeah. If you go to YouTube and just if you enter in the search bar Flash Kid Falls,
okay,
I guarantee you'll find it.
Okay.
And it is, oh God, I could laugh at that forever.
That's so funny.
Speaking of things I could laugh at, since we're just telling, can I tell a story?
Yeah,
of course.
So we have this. She's not on my Facebook, so she's never going to see this. So we have this lady at work that comes around and empties my garbage in my office.
Yeah.
And I don't make a whole lot of garbage.
Okay.
So there's hardly any ever. So basically she just grabs whatever I have, crumples it up, puts it in another garbage bag.
Yeah.
And yesterday I had gone to Culver's and I got a burger and a soda. And I put the soda in the bag on top of the box and I closed the bag up and put it in the garbage. So all she had to do was grab this one bag and transfer it. For some reason, she decided today she was going to grab that bag and squeeze it all down into nothing. And I hear her cursing in the next room. And I'm like, what'd you do? And she's like, some asshole put a pop in this bag. And all I said was, I wasn't expecting you to squeeze it. She had soda all the way down her leg.
Oh my God.
And I honestly laughed at that for about a half hour. I could not stop. I just like, and she was getting angry that I was laughing. And
right.
I said, you know, if I do something that dumb, I guarantee you I will want you to laugh at me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that was the end of our talk.
Now she hates you.
Yeah.
And that's the story about when Tim had to start emptying his own garbage.
Right.
And honestly, I wouldn't care.
Right.
I wouldn't care because there's so little of it.
So little.
You know, nobody comes to my house and empties my garbage.
Right.
Well, unless it's my mom. But yeah, so I wouldn't care if I had to empty my own garbage. It was just
right.
I didn't understand why she did it that way. But
right.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird way to empty garbage.
Completely gone off the rails. Did Greg need the Ashmore event one more time?
I wanted to wait till you were done with your story, but the Ashmore one. Here we go. Greg, don't be buying the last tickets. I want to get tickets for that.
Tickets for those 2 events are at autographsforpooches.com. Also doing an event at Hinsdale House July 16th.
Oh my gosh, I saw that one. I forgot to get a thing of it, but
and that event is being run through Dan Class. So I don't.
Dan's another awesome person.
Yeah, Dan's incredible.
He's phenomenal.
I was talking to Dan one night on air, and he said we should do another event at Hinsdale, and I said okay. I mean, what am I gonna say? You know,
right.
So this will be the second Potographs event at Hinsdale, and again the second one where Dan was like, you know what, we're just gonna give you Hinsdale for the night.
Yeah.
And let's raise money for the animals. So yeah, Dan Class is incredible. Hinsdale House is incredible.
Phenomenal.
You know, Hinsdale House is incredible even when I'm not selling tickets for it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I tell people all the time about Hinsdale because you know what, honestly, I was very spoiled. I never got into the paranormal until I started volunteering at Madison. So like I've got, you know, this level of activity at places, you know, and then I go to other places and I'm like, nah, you know, like it was all right because I got spoiled with Madison for so long. But I went to Hinsdale and that was like, I mean, I wasn't even out of the driveway and I was like, I need to go back there. Like I am obsessed with Hinsdale. I talk about it all the time. It's a great location.
About a year and a half ago on my birthday weekend, Dan rented me the place on a Friday and Saturday night. So we got there Friday afternoon and stayed till Sunday morning. And we just stayed at the house the whole weekend,
That's
3
cool.
of us.
Did you
really cool.
just 3 of you?
Yeah, just 3 of us.
Oh.
And it was an incredible weekend. I told this story to Dan for the first time a couple of weeks ago. You've been to Hinsdale, so you know the layout of the kitchen.
Yeah.
And the coin, the key, the mail slot, I guess, which is kind of at eye level for me.
Yeah.
So they can put the key back in when they leave.
Yeah.
And
Right.
all that good stuff. So that mail slot opens and you can see outside. So that entire weekend, the house, like, I don't get scared. But the only thing that had me concerned was that any set of headlights you saw, you knew where they were coming from or what they were going to do.
Yeah.
You know, they were coming to you. There's nowhere,
Right.
There's nowhere
else to go.
It's literally the end of the road.
Yeah. So every time we would see headlights, we'd be like, oh, great. You know,
Right.
Who's this coming out here now? And so Todd and I were standing in the kitchen and Stephanie was in the living room. And Todd and I are in the kitchen and we hear all of these loud footsteps on the porch. And I'm looking at Todd and I'm like, did you see any headlights? I'm like, is there somebody here? I mean, are we listening to real people or what's going on here? And the whole time I'm looking at this mail slot and I'm thinking at any moment this is going to open and someone's going to be staring at me. And I just, I mentioned earlier in the show, I'm 6'4", 260 pounds, and Todd is not much smaller than me. So there are not times when I'm going to look at Todd and go, I think we're going to get our ass kicked. So I looked at Todd and I just told him, I said, that mail slot opens. It's on, Todd.
Yeah.
You know, we got to protect ourselves. So if somebody's here and that mail slot opens, I'm telling you right now, it's time to fight. And the footsteps stopped. And then all of a sudden it was just done. So we weren't dealing with real people, which actually made me more comfortable. So yeah, I mean, that place is incredible. It really is. And Dan takes such good care of it.
Yeah.
And has made so many upgrades. And just the love he has for that building is incredible. So if you ever get the chance, whether it's a Potographs event or just go out there and support Dan, you know, please do that.
And it's a great location. You know, if it's further away for you, if it's a further drive, like, just keep in mind that you can sleep there, which I think is huge at events or at locations, because then you don't have to pay for a hotel. You know, you don't have to worry about that. It's definitely worth checking out with a smaller group. Don't try to take 20 people there. You know, it is a house. It's not, you know, a giant location, but
for us, being able to stay there that weekend was cheaper than us getting hotel rooms.
Right. Exactly.
It was a no-brainer. And, you know, for the three of us, it was a great experience.
Yeah. Oh,
I did wake up to a bunch of wasps in my room the first day, though.
What?
Yeah.
Like real wasps?
Yeah, real ones.
Oh.
Yeah, that woke me up at about 6:30 and I went downstairs.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
thank you.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I don't want to deal with that. But no, incredible. Hey, Ashley, how you doing?
Ollie.
Ashley, hi.
Hi.
They got a big deal coming up at the Broken Bull Asylum.
Yeah.
They got a huge deal going on here coming up soon.
Like ridiculously cheap. Like Ashley, you gotta charge more money, man.
Ashley is another person that tried to give me her location for free to do a Potographs event.
Oh,
and it turns out nobody in Oklahoma likes me.
Oh,
so,
you can't win all the states.
We had one ticket sold, and I will take the heat for that one. Because people probably looked at that and went, who's this guy and his dog? But yeah,
I know. I wish Ashley's location could be closer, because like we all support the shit out of her, but also we're all broke, Ashley, and we can't.
It was a very, very generous offer, and I will never ever forget it. And I thank her very much for that.
That's wonderful.
And that was going to be your first elephant.
Yeah, we were going to get to see elephants and everything, and the people of Oklahoma let me down.
Yeah,
I'm saying that
it's not you. It's the entire state of Oklahoma.
The entire state of Oklahoma is pretty
except
bad.
that one person.
Yeah.
Right.
No, there are certain areas where it's very difficult to get Potographs started.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people that ask me to come into specific states and say, hey, let's do an event here.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, if I don't go to an event in that area and build friendships and kind of build a following,
Yeah.
it usually doesn't work.
I mean, that makes sense.
And that's because, you know, I'm not afraid to say there's a lot of people that don't know who I am. So, you know, if people don't know who you are and they look at this and they're going to go, well, I don't know if I want to support this.
Right.
But if they know the story and they know the person behind it and they know that they can trust where the money is going,
Right.
then people get behind it. So, you know, the fact that it didn't work in Oklahoma is disappointing.
Right.
But it's not anything that Oklahoma did. It's just the fact that I haven't been there for an event, so nobody knows who I am.
Right.
So it's very difficult to sell tickets. So
So if you know anyone in Oklahoma, share the show with them, make them watch, and then we'll try again at the Broken Bow.
Ashley says she doesn't live there. She doesn't care.
Right? That would have been cool though. You know which one I loved was what was it called? The Silver something, the lady that takes care of the elderly dogs in their last years.
Silver Muzzle Cottage.
Yes.
That was the shelter that we donated to for 3 years at the Houghton Lake event. This year we're donating to Northern Michigan Animal Rescue Network, which is the original shelter that I worked with when I went to Michigan for the first time.
That's cool.
So things kind of took off with Silver Muzzle Cottage.
Yeah, which I'm so happy to hear.
Yeah. And I love Kim Scarrett.
Yeah.
I absolutely love her and what she does for older animals.
It's such an amazing thing that nobody does, but it's so needed.
Oh yeah.
That's actually the shelter that Molly came from.
Yeah.
That's the event that Molly came from. But you know, Kim kind of walked in when Potographs was just taking off.
Yeah.
So like the payouts for her events were really big. And I looked back at the stuff that we did for Northern Michigan Animal Rescue Network, and there was an event where we did $740 for them. And all three ladies were crying.
Right. I was going to say, I mean, that's amazing. I'm sure they appreciated the hell out of it.
Yeah,
but
it meant so much to them. So I was thinking about this year's event, and I'm like, well, if we can come close to $13,000 again, these ladies are going to lose their minds.
Right?
You know? So if we can do that for them, I would love to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And that's why we made the switch for this year to go to Northern Michigan Animal Rescue Network, because I've worked with them in the past, and they're fantastic ladies.
Yeah.
And it's nothing ill will towards Kim.
Oh yeah.
You know, Kim Scarrett's wonderful. Silver Muzzle Cottage is wonderful. It just kind of felt right that it was this year. It was the other lady's turn. So
yeah, for sure.
That's the way we went with that. And both shelters are fabulous. They really are. And I can't wait to hand over that fake check to those ladies and see just how excited they are.
So are they going to be there for the entire event?
They will be, yes.
Are they bringing dogs?
I do not know.
Okay.
I don't know what the plan is.
In a way, I'm kind of hoping that the answer is no, because I feel like I would be bringing one home. So.
Right.
Well, the funny thing is that when Kim would bring dogs to the event, they became the stars of the show.
Yeah.
You know, everybody wanted to talk to the dogs and pet the dogs and be with the dogs. So it kind of took away sometimes from everything that was happening. But no, it's certainly, you know, I'm never going to tell somebody no. You know, as long as the hotel's okay with it, we'll have a couple dogs there. But the part that, like, local events that we do, people will send me a message and they'll be like, "We might bring our dog to this event." And I'm like, no, you might not.
Right. You don't. Yeah.
No, this is for humans, and we're raising money for animals.
Right.
And, we don't want to pick up poop from your animals all weekend.
Right.
So yeah, one of the things that people get confused by is the word potographs, and they think since I sell pictures of me and my dogs that I take photos of dogs. So they think potographs has a play on words to the word photograph.
Right.
When in reality, it's a play on word of the word autograph.
Right.
Murray used to photograph each photo. So yeah, I don't take photos of your dogs. I have zero interest in taking photos of your dogs. I will hug them and kiss them and love them.
Right. I'll take a selfie with your dog, but I'm not going to take professional pictures of your dog.
I have no interest whatsoever and sitting down and trying to get your dog to look at a camera. That's
Right. I could appreciate that.
Yeah.
So
Ashley's
you're not
causing trouble in the chat.
That's what she's here for. That's why she's my favorite.
I have no comment on whether or not I get pet.
Oh my gosh. I seriously am so excited for March. Like, I don't ever want to like wish the time to go faster, but I really am excited.
Honestly, like it took me an hour to bring this up, but Michigan did beat Ohio State last week. And
you could have went another hour without mentioning that, but it's okay. We'll let you have your spotlight for a little bit. Okay, go ahead.
They play in the Big Ten title game, and then they may play in the college football playoff. And with the Packers probably going deep into the playoffs, that makes winter around here really short.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, it's March. So March is going to be here before you know it.
That's true.
So let's just enjoy all the days we get. There's still a lot of planning to go on. So once we get closer to the event, I start to really freak out over planning and getting everything how I want it in my mind. But no, it's going to go well again. And it's going to go well because of people like Deb and RJ, DeRose, Mist and Paul from their team are always helpful with kind of crowd control and getting people into the building and making sure people have paid to get into the building.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I rarely talk about, and I should, I guess, is all the folks that help behind the scenes for these events and do all of the stuff that nobody wants to do. This certainly isn't just me. In every city that we go to, there's a group of people that set me up with a shelter that they trust. And we go from there, and then they help me. Hey, let's find a location. Let's get this all nailed down because I'm not there. It's hard for me to do all that stuff.
Right.
So I rely on a lot of great people, and everywhere we go, there's somebody that's doing that, and they deserve a lot of the credit too.
Well, I think they, don't do it for the credit, but it's nice of you to mention them. But I think that they, like I would love to do an event, but like have you do it all, like I'm sure that's what they're thinking. Like, I want to help out, but I don't want to have to do all of like the,
like work,
like talking and like marketing and all that shit.
The talking is the easy part. The getting me to shut up is
Oh, it was like warm outside today. So now there was a fly on my computer. I'm like, go back to bed. It's still winter time. I don't care if it was 51 degrees today.
Go back to bed.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh my
cool.
Ashley, you have such a big heart.
That's awesome.
See? I told you. Everybody loves what you do.
You are inspiring. Yeah.
Let's not forget though, it's not my story.
That's true.
Well, Murray can't talk.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just the human that gets to tell his story.
Right. Yeah. You have to translate his story. Yes. That's what you do. How about that?
I'm the translator.
You translate Murray's story from dog into human.
Yes. I'll take that.
That's fair.
So were you like an animal lover at all prior to Murray? I mean, or was this sort of like, like had you always had like an interest in animals, or it was basically just like, I think I'm gonna get a dog?
I always wanted my own dog. And the reason behind that was I had an uncle that had a yellow lab named Rufus.
Okay.
And when I would go to visit, Rufus's head was like this big. And he would throw a football and Rufus would go get it and he would pop the football. Oh, and geez. As a kid, I thought it was the most wonderful thing in the world. And in reality, my uncle was probably like, I'm going through 2 footballs every time Tim comes in.
Right.
But we had dogs when I was a kid.
Okay.
We had Lhasa Apsos.
Oh yeah, I had one of those.
Which are like little ankle biting dogs with an underbite.
Uh-huh.
And mine were mean. Oh my God, were they mean?
Yeah.
And like I couldn't have friends over because they would literally bite. And my mom always says, I'm really surprised that you like have this much of a love for dogs, because when I was younger, I mean, I loved my dogs, but I resented the hell out of them because we couldn't get them to behave.
Right.
And I couldn't have people over. But yeah, I deep down, I've always loved dogs. Like I almost got bit as a kid because I walked up to a dog that was sitting down and I just gave it a hug.
No.
Like I remember that day very vividly where they had to pull me away from the dog because the dog was growling and I didn't know what to think.
And you're like, it's a puppy.
Yeah.
I just wanted to hug him.
Yeah.
And even to this day, it's like, it's hard for me to pass by a dog. Like I'll pass by every human that I walk by and not say good to them.
Don't care. Yeah.
I walk past a dog, or, I mean, you know, let's be honest with each other. I sit outside and I talk to the squirrels and the chipmunk. I had a bag of bird seed in the garage probably about 4 months ago. And this poor little chipmunk had gotten in there and basically ate himself so fat that he couldn't get out.
Stop.
Oh my God.
So I come out into the garage and I hear him in the bag, you know?
Yeah.
And I look into the bag and he's terrified looking up at me. And just the fattest little chipmunk ever. And I open up the bag and I'm looking down at him and he's like frozen in fear. And I just remember looking at him and going, "Hey, buddy, I'm going to help you out of there.
Right.
If you promise not to bite me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to get bit. But I'm going to help you out of there because I'm not an asshole.
Right.
So you're going to live to see another day." And I remember I flipped the bag onto its side and he kind of like rolled out. He turned around and looked at me like, "Whoa, like what is this thing?" And it took him a while, and then he finally started running away. But Molly once caught a rabbit in the backyard.
Oh no!
It got caught in the fence.
Oh.
But Molly didn't catch it like she was trying to hurt it. She was trying to pull it back through.
Aww.
And I got Molly into the house, and I walked up to this rabbit, and I had wire cutters. I walked up to this rabbit, and I petted his back end and tried to calm him down to the point where he wasn't kicking.
Yeah.
And he finally stopped, and I grabbed his back legs, and I snipped the fence so he could get through. And I told my friends, I'm like, "There's a rabbit somewhere telling a story about a great giant that saved his life today." People always say that Tim's an animal lover, but I will tell you this: I have refused to date women that have had snakes.
Oh yeah.
I have refused to date women that have had lizards. If it doesn't have fur, I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm not, you know, I would love to say I love all of the animals, but in reality, I don't.
Right.
I'm not a reptile guy, and they don't do anything for me. Which is one of the good reasons to live in Wisconsin, because you really don't have a whole lot of snakes to deal with up here.
Right.
And you don't have to really worry about walking out and seeing a crocodile or an alligator.
Right. Or a scorpion or anything that wants to kill you.
You know, like 4 months out of the year, the air hurts my face here.
Right.
But the upside is there's no bugs as big as my head.
Right.
Most things in the forest, I at least have a fighting chance to beat.
Right.
And you know, I don't have to worry about snakes killing my dogs.
Yeah.
So all those things lead me to stay in Wisconsin.
Absolutely. That's why I'm in Ohio. I mean, granted, I was born here, so I didn't really have a choice to begin with. But we don't have tornadoes. We don't have earthquakes. We don't have landslides. We don't have, we don't have any of that stuff. Floods. We had one flood that was like unheard of, Yeah. But I don't mind. Like the worst thing that happens, okay, obviously, if Ashley is still on, I apologize. And I am not referring to Texas because I know it's a whole different ballgame there. But here in Ohio, where homes are built for the cold, the worst thing that happens to us is that we have to stay inside for a couple of days. First of all, I'm totally okay with that.
I never complain. Yeah.
It's not like it's not like Mother Nature can decide, oh, she doesn't need her house anymore and just destroy my house in 10 seconds. We don't have any of that stuff. So yeah, I'll deal with the cold and the snow. No problem.
Yeah, we still get tornadoes in Wisconsin occasionally, but I mean, when we get one, it's a big deal. You know, it doesn't happen every day. Yeah, all in all, Wisconsin is okay. I stay here from Mom.
Yeah,
because I'm an only child, and I like to pretend Mom needs me. But
you always need the big boy. Yeah.
right.
But like Michigan's a second home because I do about 3 or 4 events there every year,
Mhm.
and have a lot of friendships, people I consider family over there. So if I ever did leave, it would probably be Michigan, but don't hold your breath, Michigan. And also, it's probably best I live in Wisconsin because people in Wisconsin will tell you, if you spend more than a weekend around me, people get sick of you. So I'll stay in Wisconsin and like I'll spend like 4 weekends a year in Michigan, and then they can think, hey, how cool it would be to have Tim around all the time. It really wouldn't be.
Oh, lies.
It's not like if you live in Michigan, you're going to see all of those people every single day. You know what I mean? It'll be fine.
What is this rake that Rian is talking about? There's Michigan.
Oh, she's talking about Kate, I think. Or he's
Yeah, it's a
talking about
rake.
Kate. Yeah.
Oh, that is a rake.
Yep. Yes, yes, the office is a shed. It's a garage, actually.
It's actually the garage.
It's a garage. It's a beautiful rake, though, right? I mean,
right.
Well,
nice.
The problem is we have an office, but the wall butts up right against our son's room, so I can't exactly, we can't exactly do the show from there because then you'll hear a crying, screaming toddler in the background going, no.
So you have to hide in the garage.
You have to hide in the garage.
Coincidentally, sometimes in bed, I also cry and scream, no.
No.
And now Mom is really happy that she tuned in.
Yay.
Yeah.
I'm sure your mom is so proud of you.
Again, I don't do well with compliments, so if she is, that's fantastic.
She is. I'm a mom. I know.
There are 3 people in this world that their opinions matter the most, and that's my mom, my dad, and my grandma Allen. My grandma Allen has been gone for about 10 years now, and I grew up as a grandma's boy, and you cannot convince me there was ever a better woman than that lady. So those are the 3 people that I'm really concerned with what they think of me. Mm-hmm. So if I can make them proud, then I'm doing okay. Everybody else, it'd be great if people loved you, but some people are going to hate you no matter what you do. So
right.
It's hard to really concern yourself with that.
Right.
And that's such an important thing too, that I don't think people talk about enough, especially with social media, right? Because all day, every day, we're looking at people with their happy, smiling faces, and their kids are perfect, and they have these organization tips, and they're doing, whatever. Like, don't concern yourself with anybody else. I always tell people, like, my husband is pretty much the only person that I care about his opinion. And honestly, at the end of the day, like, he's like, he doesn't believe in ghosts. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I don't care about his opinion. Like, I'm not going to let it change who I am.
Right.
Like, there is not a single person that you need to concern yourself with. If you have your little group of people, obviously your mom, you be worried about what your mom thinks. Okay. She gave you life. But other than that,
I think if we got in a fight, though, I could probably take her. So
I just think people focus way too much on trying to make everybody happy and trying to make sure everybody likes you. And honestly, you could be the best person in the world. You could be so nice. You could never do anything to hurt people, but there's still going to be people who don't like you. You know why? Because when you're happy, it reminds them that they're miserable.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as that. So
there are people, and I'm glad you brought that up. like I've heard that people think that I don't like them because they've come to a Pottergraphs event and I didn't talk to them.
Oh,
Like I have so much going on in my brain
Right.
those weekends that sometimes people have come up to me and they'll talk to me right in my face and I won't even realize that they're talking to me.
Yeah.
And I've had people come to me and go, this person really thought that you did not like them because you didn't answer their question. I'm like, I don't remember talking to them.
yeah.
Like it wasn't on purpose.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and then no matter what you do, like this is going to shock people. There's a lot of people out there that aren't big fans of me. They really aren't. And yeah, I can't worry about that too much.
Yeah.
There's
Tell me how
folks-
much sleep at night you're losing because
none.
those people don't like you. Yeah.
none really.
It's not worth it.
So there's a lot of people out there that like when I share stuff about my depression and stuff, I've gotten messages, you know, from people that say I'm just looking for attention.
Oh,
You guys have tried to compliment me quite a few times, and how uncomfortable has that made me?
Right.
Right. I'm not. I swear I'm not out there going, look at me, look at me, look at me.
No.
I'm distracted because there's a dog right outside this window that's barking, and it's not mine. So when I get out of here, I'm gonna have to figure out whose dog is in my yard.
whose dog that is?
You could go
Yeah.
check on it.
No, it's okay.
At least peek out the window.
He's like, no, it's okay.
If there's a dog that needs help, we need to help it.
Yeah, it's like right out there.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know what it is. You guys want to talk amongst yourselves? I'll go look.
Yeah, go check.
All right.
sure. Yeah.
We'll just talk about you.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh, no.
No. I know. I'm so glad that he doesn't let that shit bother him though. You know,
Yeah.
like, because it really does make a difference. Honestly, that's why I'm so open about, you know, my mental health, my anxiety, my depression,
Yeah.
because sometimes literally all it takes is for you to realize that you're not alone.
Yep.
You know, and if he stops talking, or if
Yeah.
any of us stop talking about
I'm
it,
talking about it. Right.
just because some people are petty assholes, like if you stop talking about it, then people are going to go back to feeling like they're alone.
Right.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello, welcome to the show.
I heard assholes and I was like, oh, they're still talking about it.
We'll talk about
We're
it.
talking about me.
No, it was my neighbors in the back. They
Okay.
weren't right outside. They were just really loud.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just let their dogs out there with nobody watching them. So they just bark and bark and bark and bark. But
Okay.
it's never that loud. Anyway, so
Okay.
I'm out of
I was just saying that I'm glad that you don't let that shit bother you. I'm glad you don't let people bother you, because at the end of the day, mental health is extremely important and we should be talking about it. And if you stop talking about it and I stop talking about it and everybody stops talking about it, then people are going to go back to feeling like they're alone.
Right.
You know, they're going to feel like, oh, nobody's talking about this, so I must be the only one who feels this way. So it's super important that you just don't give a shit about petty assholes. That's where the assholes came in.
Well, there's two reasons I continue to talk about it. One, people see me and they see all the great things I'm able to do, like the fun things, the important things. And you look at me and you go, wow, he must be happy. And for the most part, I am. But it's important to realize that people that look really happy still can have days where they think they're the worst person in the world.
Yeah.
So if I talk about that, it might allow somebody else to be like, okay, there is somebody out there like me.
Yeah.
And the other reason that I talk about it is I want to give people hope.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, look at all the great things I get to do.
Right.
Look where I was and look at all the stuff I get to do now.
Right.
If you keep fighting and you're here day after day after day and you keep the fight, this can be you too.
Right.
You know, you can do amazing things. It might not be paranormal. It might not be speaking at conventions and meeting fantastic people.
Right.
But it might be success in your field that you chose. It might be success in friendships and relationships.
Right.
or
It
just
might be art, it might be
yeah.
music, it
something
doesn't
that
matter.
brings you joy.
Yeah.
And you know, just seeing people that are open about it and letting others know that, you know, I guess it sounds like I'm just repeating myself, but
No.
you know, fight, just keep fighting, because
Yeah.
there is a light at the end of the tunnel,
Right.
and you may wake up one day and go, wait a minute, this life is pretty good. I don't know how it happened, but I'm going to take it,
Yeah.
and I'm going to run with it, and we'll see where this takes me. But
Yeah.
I wish I could point to something that was like, okay, that was the moment where I knew everything was okay.
Yeah.
That was the moment where I didn't feel like in despair anymore.
Yeah.
Like it just happened over time,
Mm.
where one day I just was kind of looking in the mirror and I'm like, you know, it's been quite a while since I woke up every day and my brain was like, hey, Tim, why don't you fuck right off?
Right. Right. Yeah.
But that's not to say it doesn't happen from time to time.
Right.
You know, you wake up and you look in the mirror and your brain is like, hey, by the way, just want to remind you, you still hate yourself.
Right.
You know, and I make light of it now.
Right.
And I shouldn't. I'm trying to make people smile and trying to make people understand that, you know, we can laugh too.
Yes.
It's okay to laugh.
And that's what drives me insane is people think that depression is just sitting there crying all the time. It's not. Like I am depressed almost every day, not for any reason, because my life is amazing. But at the same time, I don't put that out there. You know, I still smile and I still whatever. And that doesn't mean that I'm always happy or that my brain's not telling me you're a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's why it bothers me so much when people are mean to each other. You know, like you don't know what that person is going through.
One of my coping mechanisms for so long was to make people laugh.
Exactly. Look at like Robin Williams.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It made me feel so good to make other people happy.
Exactly.
And you bring up Robin Williams, a man that from the outside looking in had everything.
Yes.
Just not a care in the world, you would think.
Yeah.
And he's leading this life where he feels all alone.
Mm-hmm.
And so many of us can relate to that are going through that.
Yeah.
And it just when he passed, that rocked me.
Yeah,
it really did. And that's when I kind of started putting two and two together and realizing, okay, this is what I do to deal with what I go through. Like my favorite thing in the world is make people laugh.
Yeah,
it really is. And if I thought I was even this funny, I would try stand-up comedy. But I try so hard just to put a smile on people's face. Yes. And it's self-deprecating humor. Yep. I make fun of myself to make others laugh.
Yeah.
That's what I do. And I've been doing that for so long. And then to find out that, you know, he takes his own life and he's dealing with these demons and just cannot be happy. And the other thing is people think depression is just being sad.
Right.
It's not sad.
People who are depressed most of the time don't do that. Yeah. You know, like in their homes, yes, they'll have a hard time getting out of bed. They can't do the things they used to do. But a lot of times, which I don't think people understand, is that when somebody is depressed, that's what they do. They cope by making people laugh. They cope by helping people. They cope by doing things to make other people happy because it's not something that they could feel on their own.
And then there'll be 4-day weekends where for 3 days I can't get myself off the couch to shower.
Exactly.
You know,
I sent a picture to Shelly and Addie not too long ago where like my hair was like matted on the side because it was like a week and I just couldn't take a shower, brush my hair, nothing. You know what I mean? Like, and for no reason. Nobody in my life died. There wasn't nothing traumatic happened to me. It just was a rough time.
I get crippling anxiety from getting the mail. I don't know where that comes from. Like for me, getting the mail is a big deal. Like in my brain, I have it built up so big that I'm going to get a piece of mail one day that is going to ruin my life.
Oh,
When the majority, like 95% of the mail I get just goes straight in the garbage anyway.
right.
You know? But when I go to get the mail, oh my God, my heart is racing, and I get the mail like on a good week twice.
Oh wow, okay.
And on a bad week, I'll go 3 weeks without getting mail.
Yeah.
And then I'll go out there and my mail lady has stocked it full.
Stocked it, right.
Yeah, and I will grab this pile of mail and I will go to my garbage can in the garage, and I will go through and just throw out whatever, and I end up with like 3 pieces of mail over 3 weeks.
Right.
It's like an archaic system now. Everything should just be paperless. What's the point of mail?
You know what though? I'm kind of like a 90-year-old woman when it comes to electronics. Like I still like to write checks. And my husband makes fun of me so much. He's like, you realize nobody needs checks anymore. I'm like, can you just order checks? Because I like to write them. You know, like I like to, I don't know. I love getting mail. I love getting mail. I wish people would just like mail letters every once in a while, you know, so that like your mail is not all junk mail. Like it doesn't matter what it is. My aunt will sometimes send me $5 to go get ice cream. Freaking amazing.
Yeah.
You know, color me a picture and send it to me. I will hang it on my freaking fridge, you know, just something.
My mom sent me a Christmas card that I got in the mail. And then she also sent a card to Bo and Ray.
Oh,
like just addressed to them. So that was cool.
Right.
That was the mail that I got in today. And I haven't got mail for 3 days. So I got the mail in today. And out of a stack, those are the only 2 things that I kept.
See? Okay, listen, everyone.
Yes.
If you have Tim's address, because obviously we're not going to give out Tim's address, but if you have Tim's address, if you already have it, mails him a letter once or twice a month, and together we will get Tim over the fear of the mail, because he'll start to see that good things come in the mail too.
Good things.
Yes. Like a picture that you colored.
Yes. A picture that I did a local I guess lecture at a museum probably 6 years ago. And I was talking about the house that I live in now and the things that were happening there. And this guy raised his hand and he's like, "What part of town is that in?" And I kind of gave him the general idea of area of where it was in. And then he was asking questions about the block. And finally, after like 4 questions, I'm like, "Okay, sir, my address is," and I just gave him my address. And I'm like, "But if you show up, it's going to be bad for you."
Right.
Oh God.
Like, stop asking questions about where I live.
Right.
It's creepy.
It's a little weird, and people are kind of weird these days. So
they are.
But it's weird for me, and I don't even like. I'm not at the level of those people that have, you know. There's people that are on the shows that wake up to like 300 messages every morning about how this random person loves them. You know, and thank God I don't have that. You know, I just have people that I know telling me that they love me.
Yeah, which is good though.
It's much better. Yeah.
Good and bad, really.
Yeah.
You know, just because you know them, doesn't mean that you want them to love you either. So
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. So some people are very, very forward with their affection.
Oh.
Yeah.
I definitely don't have that problem. So.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'll stop sending those messages, Tim. My bad.
Yeah.
It's ooze, isn't it? That's why he can't be on the show. He has a restraining order. I knew
it. Yeah. He was like, "Can we just share a room in March?" And I was like, "I don't know if we can do that, Ray."
Yeah. And he was like, "If they only have one bed, it's fine.
It's okay." Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
You just want to get one queen. We don't even need a king.
We'll save money. Yeah.
I knew it. I'm excited for that.
No, but like there are a lot of people that think they know me better than they really do. And I can't imagine if it was on a higher level than that. It would be really strange to me. Like my friends that are on the shows, you know, I'm sure they deal with it, you know, a lot more than I do. And I'm not complaining, because it's nice to have people tell you that they care about you.
Right.
You just don't need to tell me 4 times a day, 5 times a week.
Don't be creepy about it.
Like I'll send people messages, just like trying to be friendly, and then I will overanalyze the things that I send because I'll look at it from my point of view and be like, oh crap, they think
right.
Yeah. Like I can't tell you how many times I've apologized for sending a message and like I don't want to be the creepy Facebook guy.
Right.
Because we all know a creepy Facebook guy.
Yeah.
And
nowadays it's like weird to be nice, So like if you're like, I don't know, like if I say to somebody like, oh my gosh, I really loved what you did, blah, 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 like that's not, I'm just being nice to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not trying to flirt with you or be creepy. Like I understand how you are programmed to think that everybody's an asshole. And, if somebody's saying something nice to you, that means they want to sleep with you, clearly. Like,
right.
Clearly.
It's just, it's out of control. Like you can't even be nice to people and they're like, without people taking it as creepy.
I'm the opposite way. I don't know if you know Exie Smith,
You're
medium
just creepy,
from Michigan, Exie Smith.
I think so, yeah.
She's from the Detroit area, I believe.
Yeah.
Sweet lady. Great friends with her and her husband. They're fantastic people. And she gives me a hard time every time we do an event together because she's always like, oh, you got so many ladies that are at your table and they just want to talk to you. I'm like, I never pick up on that stuff. Ever. Like somebody could sit at my table all weekend and stare at me.
Right. They're like this.
And I would never even once have it cross my mind that, oh, they're hitting on me.
Right.
That's
but
hilarious.
Everybody else is like, oh, you have so many people that just adore you, Tim. I'm like, I don't see it. Like somebody pointed out to me because I'm not picking up on it.
Yeah. You know what? I wonder if that has something to do with the anxiety though, too, and the depression, because like maybe we just like can't see ourselves in that fashion, like every single day I'm like, how am I married? Like, how has this man not left me? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So like in my brain, I can't ever be that person to somebody. Like, why would somebody ever want to be with me? Ew. I don't even like me,
Yeah.
So, there was
Every day I talk to my girlfriend and I'm like, why haven't you left me yet?
Right. I don't get it.
It's because the joke is it's my hand.
Oh my God. Tim.
Sorry.
Tim. She loves you.
Oh, shit.
Single for a reason. As my friend Cameron tells me, I'm playing hard to want.
Hard to want.
Oh my God, stop it. I feel like that needs to be on a
t-shirt. He
t-shirt.
told me that. We were working on the set of a movie because I'm a big deal. And I was joking around with him and he's like, you do a really good job of playing hard to want, Tim.
Oh my God.
And I was like, that was kind of my mantra going forward. But
No,
I finally got to a place in my life where I'm happy, and
That's
that place
great.
just happens to be single. So, here I am. So it's going to take something pretty incredible to walk along and go, we'll see if we can get them to change that.
Yeah.
I'm not unhappy. So I'm sorry about the crude joke about my hand, folks.
Right.
It's a beautiful hand, though. It really is.
Yeah.
It's very nice. Loves me.
We don't want to talk about that. We're just gonna
This is
leave
what
it at
happens when you just let me talk.
that. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
fun though. I like
Eventually you're like, oh, I know why people don't like this guy.
Aw.
Once you get past the dogs and the paranormal and all the good stuff he does, then he starts talking about, farts
and there's the rest of Tim.
yeah,
Right.
farts and masturbation and
It's
yeah.
great. It's good stuff. I
Yeah.
forgot to put that in my description of the show. Damn it.
Fun fact, and Dustin is going to kill me for this.
Why?
But Dustin and I were talking at an event one time and just joking around like guys do. And he was like flexing his forearm and showing it to me because, And the rest of the weekend, like every woman that came and talked to me, I sent them to Dustin's table so they could get a picture with his forearm.
Oh my God, stop it.
Yeah. He came up to me and he's like, Tim, I told you that in confidence. But no, Dustin is a fantastic friend. If
Oh
you
my
get a
God,
chance to
he's
be around him.
phenomenal. He came on the show, and that was another one of my top shows. It was such a good time. He is another one who is just so positive, and he's got that YouTube series that you guys should all just go binge watch all of them because they're only like a minute long.
Yeah. Hey, got a minute?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, they're like a minute 30 seconds, but it's fine. It's under 2 minutes. But
I
forget it. I don't have a minute 30. I only have a minute.
Yeah. I have one more Dustin story.
Okay.
I ordered this bottle of liquid ass off of Amazon, and it is just fart spray.
Oh God.
Oh.
And it is the most god awful fart spray ever. I got Tyler Arnold with it first.
Oh my God.
And he was not happy when he found out that it was the fart spray. So it did an event in Ripon, Wisconsin, and at the end of the night, after we had all like done the bowling and everything and had a fantastic time, I had to give Dustin a ride back to his hotel. So on the way back to the hotel, I sprayed this liquid ass 3 times.
Oh, 3 times?
Yeah. And it took about 10 seconds, and Dustin looked at me and he goes, "Hey, Miley, is that you or the outside?" And I just kept a straight face, and like he just kept commenting about how it will not go away. This won't go away. Where is this coming from? I don't see any fields. There's no cows. Where is this coming from, Tim?
Oh God!
And I dropped him off and didn't say a word about it.
Like, how did you not laugh? Were you
laughed.
laughing? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I laughed.
Okay.
But the next morning when I picked him up to take him to the airport, I handed him the bottle, and I'm like, "This is what I did last night." And yeah, he warned me the last event. He's like, "You better not get me with that in Michigan." I said, "I'm not taking that on the plane. I'll get arrested." Yeah, it was awful. But
oh my gosh, that stuff is terrible.
Well, it's god awful. It is
Yeah.
really, really bad. But it also makes for a very, very funny, few minutes. And
that you were the outside.
Yeah, he's got that Northeast accent, and just the way he looked, and he always calls me Miley.
Yeah.
He never calls me Tim. I just want to point that out. I never call him Perry.
Right.
It's always Dustin, but he always calls me Miley, and immediately he was like, because we're in Wisconsin, so he expected it's either me or cows.
Right.
So,
obviously, yeah.
Oh, I also got my mom with it. So.
Oh
sorry,
no.
Mom. Yeah. Sorry, Mom.
Did you spray it in her house or in the car?
In the car.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we were on our way to go eat. She was not thrilled.
Oh.
No.
That's so gross.
No.
Your mom gave you life, and that's what you give back to her. Terrible.
Oh gosh. What? Sorry, I'm making sure I got everything. Hi, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Laura. That didn't age well. She put the hand before you.
Oh, geez. I didn't even notice that. Sorry, Michelle.
That was before. Oh, gosh. What'd you think of it?
It's a city here called Kaukauna.
Oh.
That has a lot of paper mills and a dump, and the city itself stinks a lot.
Does it? Does a paper mill smell?
Yeah, when you drive past it, it's god awful. And so she thought it was Kaukauna. If anybody from not this area is reading that, they're like, "What is a kahuna?"
Right? How do you say it?
Kaukauna.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I
honestly thought it was a pet.
Their school mascot is actually the ghosts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Kaukauna ghosts.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But the city stinks like death. So
Oh, it's appropriate.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
All right. I want to make sure that we throw these things back up here. I should have gotten the other one, but
That's the Ashmore event. That's celebrating Murray's birthday in Ashmore, Illinois, and then the other one is Houghton Lake, Michigan, March 5th. That's Pottergrass Parafest 3. Both events tickets are on sale at pottergrassforpooches.com. And you can't go wrong going to either one, honestly.
Right. What else is on your website?
That's it for now. We have one coming up in Ripon, Wisconsin. For those that are looking at me with blank faces, what's a Ripon?
Ripon ass? Okay.
Yeah, no. Ripon, Wisconsin. It's our second year there. We did it at a bowling alley. And it turned out to be a big hit because we did all the lectures and then we had a big bowling party afterwards and raised more money.
That's awesome.
And it was great. There was like 30 people bowling, and there was like everybody was happy for everybody else.
Yeah.
Like somebody got a strike, they ran over and they high-fived them, and we had a laugh and we joked and we had some beer. And then if somebody got a gutter, then everybody pointed and laughed at them because that's what friends do.
Right, but you still had beer and had fun.
Yeah, we had a great time. So we're doing that again, but we're making it bigger.
Nice.
And I've got Dustin Perry's coming back to that one. Tickets are not on sale yet, just because it's in September of 2022.
Oh, that's crazy to think.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of other events to promote before that.
Right.
But there is going to be another member of Ghost Hunters at that event.
Oh.
And I have not gotten her okay to give away her appearance.
Okay.
But she's going to be there.
I see what you're doing.
Yeah, she's going to be there. And it's been a while since she's been on Ghost Hunters.
Okay.
But she was on Ghost Hunters.
Okay.
And
she was.
And I will tell you that the case that we were on Paranormal Witness for, the little spirit's name was Chris. And those two may have something to do with one another.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for not giving away details, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Shane Pittman from Holzer Files is going to be at that event too.
Very cool.
And Shane, honestly, Chris wouldn't care if I said it either, and I just did. But so yeah, there's going to be some fantastic people at the Ripon event, but we need to concentrate on March and April,
right?
Before we get too far into the year and lose sight of the early events. So
what's the goal for Pottergraphs this year?
The goal is 100K.
Yes, I knew it.
And it's doable because we raised about
totally doable.
We raised about 25,000 this year, and if we do that next year, that puts us at like 97 or 98.
Yeah,
and we're doing 2 more Pottergraphs exclusive events in 2022 than we did this year.
Yes.
So there's a good chance, and like bringing it back and being serious again. The day we hit $100,000, I will probably sob like a baby.
Yeah, as you should, because that's fucking amazing. Because
that'll just be, like we did a golf event this year. I golf in a league, and the owner of the golf course knows what I do outside of work and golfing, and he offered to do a scramble at his course and give me all the proceeds. And I golfed that day with my very best friends, Todd. I golfed with Tony Macario, and I golfed with my brother, Jason. And we got to the last hole, and I made the putt on the last hole, and I just completely broke down because it was a whole new chapter that had been opened up.
Right.
Because up until then, we had just done paranormal events.
Right.
And we had done this mainstream golf event, and so many people had come together for him, for Murray. And I just remember like completely breaking down and pointing up to the sky. And my brother Jason was hugging me at the time. And Tony and Todd saw me crying, and Tony was like, "What's going on?" And I remember Todd saying, I think it just hit him. I think it just hit him. And Todd gave me a big hug and cried. And Todd made me cry this year. He does a lot of local stuff with me.
Yeah.
And when I talk about Murray, I give him a chance to talk about how important Murray was to him, because Murray was his nephew.
Mhm.
Like I would tell Murray that Uncle Todd's coming over, and Murray would lay by the back door until he got there.
Aw.
Loved him. I mean, Todd and Murray were like that.
Yeah.
And Todd tells the story. He's like, if Murray wouldn't have been there for Tim wouldn't have been there and started the paranormal team. I wouldn't know Tim. I wouldn't know all these other people.
Right.
And then at the event that Todd told this story, he completely broke down.
Mm.
And I looked at him and I'm like, do you want me to finish it? And I knew what he was getting to next because he met his wife at one of our events.
Oh.
And so he was giving thanks to Murray, because if Murray wouldn't have been there for me, he would have met his wife. And it's amazing to think of that stuff, of how many people Murray has touched and
Right.
how far his reach has gone. But yeah, next year, a golf tournament, 4 exclusive events. I'm already signed on to do 2 other Paracons.
Nice.
So yeah, it's going to be a busy year, but yeah, 100K is completely in sight.
Yeah.
And
It's totally doable though.
yeah, when that happens, whoever's around me better be able to hold me up.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be a mess, but in a good way. It's going to be
Yeah.
a very, very good day and a lot of celebrating.
Yeah.
And that's good. See, life is not always sad tears. Good shit happens. Just hang in there.
Good
I'm
shit.
so excited. I wonder when it'll be. I wonder which event it'll be that you get to 100,000.
Honestly, I'm hoping it's either local or in Michigan,
Yeah.
because I do have an event in Michigan in October. And so if it's the one here in September, or if it's the one local or in Michigan in October, either one of those would mean a lot.
Yeah.
Michigan has been the place where we've raised the most money, so that probably makes the most sense.
Yeah.
But if we get there before that, that's a good problem to have.
Right. Obviously, it'll be good wherever. But
Whenever it happens, it happens.
that's so exciting. So was the 13,000, was that the biggest one?
Yeah, by a lot.
Yeah.
The previous high before that was 7,679, and we completely destroyed it.
Yeah.
I do have to give credit to the place I work at, though. Amcor gives me a $2,500 match every year.
Nice.
And Todd also works for us, so he gets that match.
Oh,
so we
wow.
use it in Michigan, and that's how we got to 13,223.
That's awesome.
Nice.
We still would have raised $8,300 without.
Right.
That's
so we still would have beaten our goal and beaten the record, but
Right.
that's awesome.
yeah, getting to 13,223 was pretty amazing. So yeah, when we get to next year with those matches, I mean, we really only got to come up with about 22,000 ourselves. So
That's jump change.
yeah, we can make it. We've got, like I said, we got like 7-8 events next year.
Right. So that's like nothing.
Well, it's something. It's still not
I was saying it's
still not a sure thing, but yeah, hopefully we can make it happen.
Yeah, for sure. Then we could have a party. We'll have a 100K party.
Yeah.
Well, we'll definitely have a 100K
We don't
party.
want to have to leave our houses. It's a virtual party.
Yes.
But what else? Is there anything not potographs that you would like to talk about before we have to go?
Well, I'm getting together with my team on Saturday. We're having a Christmas party.
Oh,
We got 11 people on the team, and those are the people that make me look really good and make sure that I have the opportunities that I do to go around and talk about the paranormal. So I always got to give thanks to those guys. Fox City's paranormal team. They give up their time and their weekends and their time away from family, just like we do, to help people that we don't know. That's the side that you don't really get to see when all the photograph stuff is talked about.
Right.
But at the core of it, it really starts with Fox City's paranormal team and the work we do within the paranormal. and that gives us the opportunities that we get around the country to do what we do. And so I can't not mention them during an interview, and that's like my family. So really looking forward to seeing them Saturday night.
How do people find them? How can they follow them?
Fox Cities FoxCitiesParanormalTeam.com is the website. And if it looks like a 4-year-old did the website, that's because it's me. And then also on Facebook, Fox Cities Paranormal Team. Go check that out, and just say hi, say hello, say you listen to the show. So, like I said, those people put in a lot of hard work and make Todd and I look really good and give us these opportunities. So the least I can do is say thank you and get together with them this weekend, have some good food, have some drinks, play some games, laugh a lot.
Yeah.
And just spend time with people you care about.
Yeah. Do you guys have any exciting investigations coming up?
Not a darn one.
Nice. Yeah.
Basically what we do is almost exclusive residential cases.
Okay.
So we kind of wait on people to find us, and people find us, then we'll go do our thing. But we certainly don't wish this stuff on anybody. So, so when we get a break, it's not a horrible thing.
Right.
Because when we get busy, we tend to get really busy. So, so yeah, we'll take the breaks when we can get them, and when people need us, then hopefully we can do our part to help.
Very cool. Awesome. All right. I know that it's not quite 10 o'clock, but
it's time for us to go to bed.
It is.
Yeah. All separately though, all of us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tim and his girlfriend.
There's a lot more room in my bed. I will say that.
So clingy. How do you deal with it?
Like I wake up in the middle of the night just staring at me. Like,
right.
Weird. She's always there.
Yeah. Go away.
Oh gosh. But as always, it was amazing to talk to you. You are welcome on the show once a month if you want. Anytime.
Well, I will say this before we go. It was nice to meet you, Kate.
Oh, thank you. Nice to meet you as well.
And Denise, you keep doing your thing, because people are also watching you and listening to you, and gaining inspiration from you. So don't ever doubt that.
I do doubt that, but I
take care of that beautiful family of yours.
Yes.
And do well with those houses.
Thank you. I'm trying.
Yeah. Keep killing it. So I will come on anytime you have room for me. So you let me know and I'll be here. Other than that, I just appreciate the opportunity. Thank you for letting me come on here, and
thank you for letting us come to your events.
I can't wait. I will tell you this though, there's going to be a lot of hugs, so just get ready.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'm ready.
All right, you guys take care of yourselves. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, guys. Thanks, Kate, for not leaving me alone on the show tonight.
You're welcome. I'm sorry I cried so much. I mean,
I know, right? It's Tim. You just cried.
I know.
You just
nobody warned you?
No, right? No. That was my bad. I'm sorry.
No, I knew. I just,
You didn't know it was going to be that bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I should have known. But I should have known. But
now you know for next time.
No, I know. Now I know why Michael asked me. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
He would have cried more than I did. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. I don't know if we have a guest next week or whatever, but I don't know. We'll let you guys know.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Stay tuned.
All right.
Yeah.
Be kind to each other. Don't be an asshole.
Don't be an asshole.
Have a good week. We'll see you next week. Bye.